Hello, my name is JC Fields, and today I'm going to be talking about one of the most traumatic events that has happened in all of history that is non-related to the war. This tragedy that I am talking about is known as the Titanic. The Titanic is a boat that was supposed to be leaving from Ireland and making it to New York. However, the boat did not make it to New York. The Titanic, the boat that I'm talking about today, was supposed to be known as unsinkable. There were many safety precautions in the Titanic that made individuals think that it could not sink in the ocean. However, the Titanic was an extremely large boat, one of the largest boats in the whole entire world. Some of the boats in the world today that are said to be the largest are actually 100 feet smaller than the Titanic and also weighs 15,000 tons less than the Titanic did. The Titanic was said to be made for rich folk that wanted to travel along the ocean. I say that most of the people on the Titanic had money because the Titanic was only decorated and furnished with the finest of things. The boat also included a swimming pool, a barber shop, a library, and many other things. The boat was supposed to be picking up individuals from Ireland and taking them to New York. 4 days after the boat had left from Ireland, it all of a sudden hit an iceberg. The most of the iceberg was actually underwater, so the crew members could not see how large the iceberg actually was. The Titanic had sinked. However, it took a long time for it to sink because of how big it was. Whenever the Titanic was first sinking, a bunch of water flooded into the basement of the Titanic, and they closed the doors, trying to keep as much water out as possible. However, the water would go through the doors and dismember the whole entire ship. Before the ship was dismembered, there were 20 lifeboats on the side. These were little boats that individuals could hop into and get on the ocean, and they could use that to get away from what was happening. On these lifeboats, there were only 20 of them, which means that a lot of people would be left behind. With the boats, the children and the women were on first, and then the husbands would catch up later if they could. Whenever the Titanic sank, it said that 1,522 lives were lost, and there are only a little more than 2,000 on the ship itself whenever it first sailed. There is a famous movie made by James Cameron of the Titanic, if you guys would like to learn more about it. The Titanic is one of my very favorite movies, and this is why I am doing this informative speech today. James Cameron took a lot of research into his hands whenever he was trying to figure out what happened with the Titanic. He had made 12 trips to the wreck site, which included being in a submarine because it was underwater still and still is. Each of these trips lasted about 12 to 13 hours long. The Titanic is a huge hit and is also a #1 movie worldwide. It had also won many nominees, including 4 out of 8 that it was elected for. I think it's important not to forget about the Titanic because it is an important part of history and many lives were lost. While the Titanic is the hugest boat in the world, nobody else has tried to make one as big because of the tragic event that happened.